Hey there, and welcome back to the Money, Mindset, and Manifestation podcast. I am your host, TEDRA Chanel. We are doing things a little differently today. We are recording for the very first time in video and uploading it to, I think the only platform you can watch us on video would be Spotify. And this episode on Friday is going to go up on my YouTube channel. Say, hey, boo, hey, if you're watching over on YouTube, just so everybody knows, right? Because I understand that some of you guys on my YouTube channel don't even know that I have a podcast. Where have you been? Sleep. And then some of you guys who listen to my podcast don't know that I have a YouTube channel. So how we do this is every single Monday, a new episode here on the podcast goes live. And that same episode I am going to put on my YouTube channel on Friday. So this is an effort to capture both audiences. Some people don't really care to listen to podcasts, but they'll watch a YouTube video. So same information. So here you go. All right. So before we get into today's episode, per usual, I am going to share with you guys something that is not live yet, but it will be live by the end of this week. So excited. All right. So you guys know that I have been talking about starting a mentorship program with Karika. We have since decided not to do that. We are going to continue to work with our mentees on our different platforms. We both have mentorship groups and or programs, and we kind of both want to go in different directions, right? And so that's totally fine. So we are still going to be bringing CAA to you. It just won't be in that way. But until then, what I have decided to do is to create a manifestation hub. And what that looks like is a platform that you guys will pay a small monthly fee and you will have access. So there are going to be maybe 2 to 3 tiers because clearly I have not worked out all the kinks just yet. But one tier, you're going to have access to a certain amount of materials. Tier 2, classes, courses, more materials. And tier 3 may be where we do the live classes for people who are interested in that. And instead of paying per class, you're going to pay per month and have access to multiple things. And the first tier is going to be hella affordable. I'm not going to tell you what the price is just yet because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. You know, get what I'm saying? So, but I promise you it's going to be under $50 a month for the first tier. And then, of course, they're going to go up from there. So that is going to be the hub because I realize that there are so many of you all who learn differently. Some of you like classes and courses. Some of you prefer ebooks. Some of you prefer one-on-one or working in a group. And I am going to do my best to appease as many of you all as I possibly can. So be on the lookout for the Manifestation Hub. I am super, super excited about it for many reasons. But the main reason is that it's going to be super affordable for those of you who want to work a little bit closer to me or with me. You guys want to buy all of the classes and the courses, but it's just not feasible for whatever reason. Okay, so be on the lookout for the Manifestation Hub. I'm excited about that. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about today, dang it. Okay, we can't do this live on video. Hold on. This is already ghetto. I just knocked my little corner protectors off of my desk because they're not secure. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so what I want to talk to you guys about today is your experiences in life. Okay? Many of us, not many of us, all of us, every single one of us can think of a time or remember a time when someone in our lives mistreated us, or we didn't like how we were experiencing certain things, people, places. Okay. In Quantum Manifestor, which is still available, which you guys most definitely should go and check out. QM is going to be linked in the show notes. In Quantum Manifestor, we talk a lot about self-concept. Okay? How you conceptualize yourself, what you believe you deserve, is what happens and manifests in your reality. So how people treat you, be it good or bad, is basically a reflection of what's going on the inside. Hear me out. Hear me out. So when we think about the negative experiences that we have, or positive, either way, those again are based on what we believe we deserve on a subconscious level. Okay. Now, when we believe that we're going to have a shitty day, chances are we have a shitty day. Because again, this is the energy that you're putting out. This is what you believe you deserve. Everything that you experience is you pushed out into reality. Now, I know that this is hard for a lot of people to fathom. Again, and I'm not even going into like the really traumatic things. I just don't believe that, certain experiences are our fault. I don't believe that certain experiences are all because of subconscious beliefs, this, that, and the third. So that stuff I'm not talking about. I always say that. But on the regular smegular degular day-to-day things, it's us pushed out. There's some type of limiting, self-sabotaging belief that we have that is causing us to attract certain experiences, right? And this is why I always tell my tribe to make sure that you speak to your day. Make sure that you set the expectations that you desire to have in your day. So that starts early in the morning when you wake up, and before you even continue on with your day, it's really, really important to speak over your day, right? Also, when it comes to, let's say, relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, side piece, jump off, fiance, whatever. When it comes to your intimate relationships, let's say there's infidelity in the relationship, right? That your person cheats on you. There is something inside of you that manifested that experience. And when we start to experience the infidelity in multiple relationships, or you start to experience, at your jobs, let's say, for example, because I have somebody in mind when I say this, there are certain people who they go from job to job to job and have the same negative experiences. They're always beefing with their coworkers, or they're beefing with their boss, right? There's something inside of you that is manifesting that experience, right? Y'all, my lash is coming off, and I don't have any lash glue up here. So if y'all see on video, because I can't see what y'all see because I don't have my glasses on. So if y'all see my lash flapping, mind your business, all right? Mind your business. So when we have certain experiences, we have to keep in mind, that's the whole point of this episode, is that our experiences in our reality is us and what we believe being pushed out. Now, this is where shadow work comes in. This is where the journaling comes in, because we have to first recognize the cycles. So I want you guys to pause the episode right now as you're listening or watching and I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you guys to write down all of the repetitive cycles that you notice in your life. So I want you to think about your money. Hello. I want you to think about your relationships. Hello. Okay. I want you to think about jobs. Okay. Relationships with friends, with family. You may even be a person who every car that they get breaks down. Like those types of experiences. Or every home or most of the homes that you've ever lived in, you've gotten put out for one reason or another, right? I want you to notice the cycles that are going on in your life. So write those down. Okay. What are the patterns? Patterns usually appear, and that comes from our shadow side trying to tell us, hey, knock, knock, knock. This is an area of your life or of your mindset that you need to work on. Okay. So let's go back to the relationship. It could be intimate or non-intimate. It could be intimate relationships where you continue to get cheated on, or it could be friendships that just end. Now, I'll say this. My experience in friendships, and this is why I say to this day, I don't have any friends, right? Because something always happens. Like I'll be really, really cool. And I'm like the coolest person on the planet. I get along with just about anybody. Don't start none, won't be none. That's the type of person I am. I can meet a person and in line at the grocery store and strike up a whole conversation. Like I love getting to know people, talking to people. But for whatever reason, when it comes to friendships, it just don't give what it needs to have gave, right? I am a very loyal person. And this is something that I'm still working through because I don't have the answer, right? You don't have the answer, Sway. I don't have the answer to this. If I did, I wouldn't continue to go through this. But what I've noticed, and I can go all the way back to childhood, is that most of my friendships are very short-lived. And in my adult life, I'm finding that people love to use me for one reason or another. And once they feel like they have gotten like what they needed, then they move on. Like, what is wrong with me that I don't even recognize the shenanigans when they're right in front of my face? I have trust issues, but I am the most, I don't even know how to word it. Like, I have major trust issues. Like, I don't trust anybody for the most part. I trust no one. But then I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Girl, what? So I have this thing where I just don't have long-lasting relationships, right? And I'm trying to figure out where this is coming from. And I know part of it is that I do have trust issues, and low-key, I'm always looking for, like, I just know that people are with the shits, right? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to last that long. So I just be looking for a reason to run away from the friendship, right? She's a runner. She's a track star. Okay. She going to run away when it gets hard. That's me. I'm a Sagittarius, right? We're very free and we're not really attached to a lot of things, right? I'm attached to my children. That's it. That's all. You know what I mean? And their father, like, we stuck like glue, I guess, at this point. But outside of that, I'm really not attached to anyone or anything. So if I just have a small inkling that the friendship is going to go left, I'm going to exit before it even happens. Or self-fulfilling prophecy, the relationship will be very short-lived because something's going to happen. They gonna piss me off. They gonna get blocked. I will block people. I'm telling too much. All I'm saying is, this isn't about me, right? It's about you. No, I'm kidding. The point is that I want you guys to really start to recognize the patterns, and I want you to acknowledge the patterns and figure out why. This is where the shadow work comes in. Why these things keep happening. I am going to put a shadow work prompts journal or PDF in the hub. That's going to be one of the first things that go in there, right? So we can start to do this shadow work, because the shadow work is very, very important. Your shadow comes to the forefront to show you right in your face, you, right? To show you the patterns that keep presenting themselves, right? The shadow puts it right in our faces in order for us to deal with it, so that we don't have to continue to deal with it for the rest of our lives. If there's a lesson that we need to learn, which there always is, our shadow is there to teach it and to keep presenting this issue over and over again until we actually face it head on and deal with it. So I'm going to continue to have short-lived relationships until I figure out what the fuck and deal with it, right? And those of you who have experienced, the turmoil at your job, you're beefing with your coworkers and your bosses, or you're being cheated on, or whatever the trauma is that you continue to experience, it's gonna be there until you work through it. Okay, so that shadow work is vitally important. If you're watching this or listening to this Friday or beyond, go ahead and check the description on YouTube or the show notes on whatever platform you're listening, and check and see if the hub is there, because like I said, one of the first things that I'm going to put in there is going to be the shadow work prompt. I don't know if it's going to be a journal. I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be there. Okay. So I really want you guys to do this work. Okay. And remember, we can change our experiences. If we don't like the experience that we're having in our relationships, we can speak over that and change that. How do you change it? You start viewing your relationships in the way that you want your relationships to play out. Okay? So if you're the type of person who really believes, because you got trust issues like me, that your person is going to cheat on you, don't be surprised when he or she cheats, right? That's something that's an energy that was within and it got pushed out, right? Remember, we are controlling our reality. We control it. Okay? And so if you don't like the way your reality is playing out, if you don't like your experiences, all you have to do is visualize something different. How many times have I given you the example of the movie that we create in our minds, right? The movie that we create in our minds by way of our subconscious beliefs plays out in our reality. Okay? So if we don't like the movie that we're watching, i.e. our reality, then what we have to do is change the film. We got to flip the script. When we talk about the subconscious beliefs playing out in our reality, if we then begin to flip the script, change our subconscious beliefs, then our reality can't help but to line up, right? So remember, what I said was what we believe we deserve, our subconscious beliefs are being pushed out into this reality, okay, into our reality. So if you don't like the experiences that you have been having, all you have to do is change your mind. That's it. That's all. So instead of assuming that everybody in your life is going to abandon you, that man or that woman is going to cheat on you, or you're going to have shitty experiences at a job, or your friendships are going to end prematurely, or you're going to remain overweight for the rest of your life, like whatever it is that you truly believe, doing that shadow work is important because it makes you face the limiting belief. It also puts it right in your face, right? Over and over again. This is where the cycles come from. Even generationally, there are cycles that we notice, right? In our bloodlines. Okay. So at some point, somebody has to stand up and say, me, I'm going to be the one to change this. I'm going to break this generational curse. Okay. You can view it as a curse, or you can just view it as habits that have been passed down over generations. Okay. However you want to perceive it is going to be your reality. That's how it's going to show up for you. So again, you guys have to do the work. Check out the show notes. Check out the description on YouTube if that's where you're watching, and see if the Manifestation Hub is there. Go join the hub, okay? Become a part and download that the shadow work journal, okay? And start to do the work. I guarantee you, once you really sit down with this and you say, okay, so this is a pattern that I've noticed since X, Y, and Z. And those prompts are going to be presented in a way that you can't help but to figure out where the root of this issue started. Okay? We don't want to put perfume on the bullshit. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's still going to be bullshit. And this is what a lot of people do when they don't do the shadow work, right? Shadow work is not about getting rid of your shadow. Your shadow will always be a part of you. It's about learning the lessons and doing the work that the shadow presents, okay? The shadow is going to present certain things to you over and over and over again until you deal with it. Okay? Key point that I need for you to take from this episode, which is why I've said it a few times. Okay? Getting rid of your shadow is not the objective. Okay? It's recognizing the patterns, the habits, the cycles, and sitting with it, doing the work by writing it out and really uprooting. Like, you got to pull up the root. Y'all, I always talk about your garden of life, right? We all have our own gardens of life. And it's up to us to till the soil. It's up to us to seed. It's up to us to prune. It's up to us to mow the grass, to pull up the weeds. Okay? So I want you to think about weeds in a literal garden. Now, if you take the lawnmower and you just go run over those weeds, they're going to be back by tomorrow. Okay? They're going to be back by tomorrow. And if you don't do anything, then those weeds are going to overtake the garden. Everything that you've intentionally planted that you really, really love, all of the great experiences are going to be overshadowed, overtaken by the overgrown weeds, i.e., the limiting beliefs. Okay? They're always going to dominate those negative beliefs. A lot of us allow those things to dominate over and over again. Cycles, habits, cycles and habits, right? This is where all of these things come from, right? And then you really do start to think that you're cursed. I don't know that I believe in curses, generational curses. They're just really shitty habits. And some of them could be curses. But certain things I just don't subscribe to anymore. And that's one of them. right? Because it pushes out the responsibility onto someone else. I need to take responsibility. This is the only way that I am going to evolve and grow. Okay, so it is our responsibility to pull up the weeds from the root. That's the only way you really get rid of a weed, is you have to pull it up from the root. Shadow work. Shadow work is not fun. I never said it was. I don't think anyone has ever said that it's fun. But however, the result is going to lead to a freer existence, a happier you, someone who is at peace, right? Because you've dealt with the things that have been holding you back for so long, right? So I hope that this episode helped per usual. Make sure that you guys subscribe and leave a review on whatever platform you're listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a comment and let me know what you learned from this episode. What is going to be your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Share the Money, Mindset, and Manifestation podcast with 5 of your closest friends. And until next time, as we always say, go out and manifest some epic shit.